I had an opportunity to talk to Wendy backstage, and she has an amazing career in tech as well. So one of the things that I want to do now is I'm going to talk to us a little bit about customer obsession. And the reason I want to talk about customer obsession is because I believe it is a way that we as women can really have an impact, take action, not just talk about some of the things that we've been talking about today, which are really great topics to discuss, but to then take action so that we can really create value at our companies. As Wendy said, I'm now at Amazon Web Services, which is an amazing company to work at. And one of the things I wanted to call out is that men supporting women, men as allies, is so critical. And AWS was so committed to this event that not only did we send a ton of women, but also some amazing men. So I know in the other room we have Todd Weatherby, who is one of our top executives who brought his daughter today. So give him a big round of applause. And then today, Kurt Kerfield, who's one of our senior vice presidents for DevOps, will also be doing a roundtable. So it's really about women helping women, but also, for all of you men here in the room, it's also about men being allies to us as we grow as well. So here's why I chose customer obsession as one of our topics today. Innovation is something that Amazon is really well known for. It's how Amazon has created a lot of value for customers. And that innovation is driven by Amazon's obsession over customers. It's something that we practice and it's something that we learn every day. So what I wanted to do today is to share with you some of those mechanisms that we use that you can take away to really have an impact at your organization as well. And so you do have to practice. So one of my traditions, I have 2 daughters, which are amazing. Hopefully both will go into tech one day. But our tradition is every Sunday we make pancakes. Anybody else have traditions like that? And so they brought me this picture from Pinterest. They said, "Mom, could you make us these pancakes?" That's not very hard, right? I said, "Of course I can make you those pancakes." Thank you. Thank you for laughing at me. So I was very customer obsessed, right? I listened to my customer, who are my 2 daughters, who wanted me to make this. Of course, it took me a lot of experiments to get those pancakes right. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how as much failure helps you in that success as does being completely successful right away. Now, you may be wondering, why are we talking about customer obsession at a Women in Cloud event? Well, all of us here are women in the cloud. And the cloud really enables that innovation, and it enables us to be more customer obsessed. In fact, if you look at the numbers, 10 years ago, startups spent 80% of the funding they got from VCs on technology, on software, on hardware. Now, they only have to spend 20%, so they can take that 80% to get faster time to market. That's why you're seeing that disruption from startups happening faster. Also, that agility that you see really is changing the game through the cloud. And then, of course, customer experience. Our friends at Gartner say that customer experience is one of the last forms of true competitive advantage. And the cloud enables that. So that's why we're talking about customer obsession here today at a cloud conference. Now, you may be sitting there also saying, but everybody does this, right? We're customer-driven, we're customer-focused, but it's very different, as I've worked at several different companies, to experience exceptional customer obsession. So one of my first documents that I wrote for Amazon, I personally talked to 140 customers. That's me as a VP. Doesn't even include my team. So by the time we really understand who the customer is, we deliver that exceptional customer experience back into the market. But let me show you what I mean, okay? So some of you may have caught this in Indiegogo. This is a smart salt shaker. Now, this smart salt shaker has an app with it. So if you want to distribute salt on your food, you pull up the app, You take it out and you say, hey, salt shaker, I want you to put salt on my food. And it's even smart. It uses AI. So you can say, hey, I want you to learn that in the morning I use a teaspoon of salt, in the evening I use half a teaspoon of salt. But wait, there's more. Do you see the blue lights on here? You can play music as it's connected to Alexa. Now, they didn't meet their Indiegogo campaign yet, but what I see here is something that is technology. It's technology-driven. Somebody loves AI. They love connecting to Alexa. They really want something to happen, but it's really not customer-obsessed, because how many of you want to go to your app to say, please put salt on my food before you salt your food, right? So this is almost like a solution looking for a customer problem. Now let me compare that to True Jerky. Now, I myself don't eat jerky, but everybody in my family does. My father, my grandfather, everybody loves jerky, and this is their favorite brand. Now, I was actually talking to a product manager leader here at True Jerky, and they're really customer obsessed. So they were talking to customers, and they found customers love their product, but it kind of got stuck in their teeth. So they, as being great customer obsessed product managers, went and said, okay, we can change the product, we can do all kinds of different things, but people love the product. They didn't want to change the product. So what did they do? They attach, I don't know if you can see it there, a little dental floss. So every bag of True Jerky comes with a little thing of dental floss so you can get that food out of your teeth. Went viral, customers loved it. It's really taking off. So do you see the difference from what I'm talking about? Technology searching for a customer versus a company that's obsessed with their customer and will do anything in order to meet that customer's need. So at Amazon, the way we do this, our mechanisms are three. The first thing we do is we work backwards from the customer. We know who the customer is. So we lead workshops for our customers and on this process, and I was asking one of our customers, so tell me about your customer. And they said, oh, our customer is telco. So I said, wow, telco's an industry. It's really not a customer. So you really need to understand who your customer is. It's a person at AT&T is your customer. And what you need to do is ensure that you understand who that person is, what they're looking for, and then work backwards from that perspective. Now, the second mechanism we do is we write a press release. Now, this is before we write any code. No code has been written. No design has been done. We write a press release. Coming into Amazon, this was really an interesting process because a great press release is usually about a page long. It's not multiple pages. So you have to nail the headline of what you want your product to be. What do you want your cloud service to be? You're going to have customer quotes in there, so you have to talk to customers. You're going to be able to crisply define what you're building, what you're doing, and how you're solving that problem. So it's a very powerful mechanism. I encourage you to try it next time before you start building the product to write the press release. And then our third mechanism is to write a frequently asked set of questions. Now, I thought when I came in, I'm like, this is going to be easy because I'm going to frame the questions. But no. Amazon actually has a list of questions, and they're hard questions. Not only do you define what is it that you're building, but you also have to write in there why it's important to your customer. What would a customer say about your new service or your new cloud offering over lunch? What would they say that they didn't like about it? Which is really hard, right? So I believe these mechanisms put in place can really help you to build that customer obsession in what you're doing. So we work backwards from these questions. Who is the customer? Remember I gave you the example before? My customer said, my customer is telco. That's not a customer. A customer is actually a person. Who are they? What do they do every day? Can you relate to that? Sometimes that means hiring great people that actually look like your customer. What is the actual customer problem? And what's the most important benefit that you're going to see from that? What does the customer need? And how do you know what the customer needs? This is a really interesting one because you can assume you know your customer, but if you don't have diversity in that team, you may miss some things. or you may assume some things that isn't the right assumption. And then finally, what does that customer experience look like? One of the first services that I built, so I have an engineering team that works for me as well as a product management team. One of the first services I built, we took before our CEO, and he actually wanted to look at the wireframes before we built it. That's how serious he is about customer obsession and customer experience, which really taught me a big lesson that customer obsession is everybody's responsibility. There's not a group for customer obsession. Every person should exhibit that leadership around customer obsession. So 2 quick examples. One of our customers is Just Eat. You may know them. They're a UK-based company. Okay. They call themselves the largest £5 billion startup in the world. Amazingly customer obsessed, always working backwards for their customer. And so for ordering, as they were doing a hackathon, they realized that a lot of customers didn't want to call on the phone. They wanted to use another voice recognition like Alexa and use AI so that they actually remembered orders. And so today you could go onto Alexa in the UK and you can say, Alexa, have Just Eat order me sushi. But Alexa learns with Just Eat that I don't like to wait an hour for my food. So if it's going to take, let's say, an hour for that food to come, Alexa will come back and say, that sushi's going to take an hour. We've noticed that you order a lot of pizza, and pizza can get there in 30 minutes. So it'll actually send you pizza. It's really cool. But again, they didn't go out there and say, how can we use AI? They said, what is our customer problem? How can we solve that problem? And it just so happened that AI helped us to solve the problem. Another quick example from a company here in Seattle. Do you guys know Redfin? Awesome company. CTO Bridget Fry took her development team from 1% women when she started to 37% women today. And so her example is they found out that customers who were looking for real estate online, the sellers, the buyers, and the real estate reps wanted to know what the value of the property was. And so they were able to apply artificial intelligence, train a set of machine learning modules, build a corpus of knowledge up so that they have today the most accurate assessment of your house's value that exists out there. Even some banks are looking at using this instead of live assessors. So she didn't start saying, I have to use AI, right? Or I have to build a salt shaker that uses an app connected to Alexa. She started by saying, what does my customer want? And here's a great way for me to drive that particular want. Now, we're also at a Women in Cloud event. I told you why customer obsession is important for the cloud, but it's also important for all of us women as well. We have a lot of talents that you can apply. Empathy, for instance. If you think about innovation, innovation is about empathy, and that's where women are great. And diverse teams, it's been proven time and time again, they build more innovative products. So this is recent data from McKinsey that shows that if you have a diverse team, and that team includes women, you're 70% more likely to capture a new market. And on average, you're going to get 45% more market share. So women, I want you to be brave, I want you to be courageous, and I want you to go out there and showcase this customer obsession. I'll just end with a couple of facts. 93% of CEOs say that customer obsession and innovation is the way that they're going to win in the next 5 years. 85% of those same CEOs say they don't have anyone in their company who can help them innovate. They're going to have to go outside. Don't let the CEOs go outside. You guys, don't overanalyze. Use some of these mechanisms. Get going and get started today in making a difference in your company. Thank you.